Hey Dane, what's up, man? How's your Tuesday going?
Oh, great. Just getting some working out and working out some soreness now.
Yeah,
It doesn't get easier when you get older. It's worse.
yeah. Did I tell you that I picked up yoga today? It felt pretty good, man.
Yeah, I
The-
was listening to talk about that. Awesome.
I did a little run, trying to get back into it. We're tuning up for a half marathon in a few months, and I'm doing this yoga thing, and
Nice.
I have more clicks and pops and bubble wrap today, Dane. It felt pretty good, man. So, um, dude, before I bring on our guest tonight, which I'm very excited about, this is a special episode as we've kind of transitioned to doing maybe like one or two a week to allow our guests more time to marinate. I've been doing some studying, Dane, on some interesting sports trivia and maybe
Hmm. All right.
different avenue that we've taken before. So I did some digging on five articles that are up for auction right now on eBay.
Oh,
Now check this
all right.
out. I'm gonna I'm gonna grill you a little bit, Dane. Tell me if you think we're calling it this little segment the over under. I'm gonna give you an item and tell me if you feel like this is actually higher or lower than this amount. Okay, so here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
So there's right now on eBay, you can bid on a Michael Jordan signed rookie card right now. Do you think
Hmm.
it is more or less than $55,000?
Yee, that's tough for MJ. I would say more.
So the going cost right now for MJ's is $57,000, Dane. 57,000 for a signed rookie card. Crazy, huh? So yeah. Second one, Dane, tell me what about this. So right now you can actually bid on a Babe Ruth signed baseball, a Babe Ruth baseball. Do you think it's higher or lower than 30K, Dane? A little awe there on that one. Dan, what do you think on that one? Higher or lower than 30K?
Hmm. Lower. Let's go lower.
$25,000 for Babe Ruth one, man. Couple more on these. Brett Favre right now has a pair of Brett Favre ankle wraps up for sale. Do you think it's higher or lower than $600?
That's got to be lower. There's no
Five
way.
ninety, 599. And last
All
one.
right.
Yeah, last one. So you can bid on some Shaq game worn shoes, more or less than $1,500.
Game worn shoes?
Game worn.
Probably more. More, I would
Nope.
say.
Nope. That shocked me too.
Ah,
1465 is the going rate for Shaq game worn
man.
shoes. So
Hmm.
anyway, this little segment, we always kind of try new things, man. So there's a little something, Dan. You did pretty good. You got 2 for 4. You okay? So I'm definitely not letting you bet on anything for me, man, because I don't, So tonight's guest, as you guys know, we are huge fans of this gentleman and what he's been doing. Coach Pollock from the Colorado Buffaloes, him and his staff, and Coach Prime doing a great job. They came out of the gate swinging hard, man, and making moves in the Pac-12, doing a great job turning the program around, having a much better winning season, and they're not done yet to kind of just getting going. And it's really
No.
they have reinvigorated this program. Coach
Yeah.
Pollock has some amazing content. I don't usually, Dane, it's funny that you and I do podcasts outside of watching Scott's. I don't watch a lot, but I watch Coach Pollock all the time.
Yeah.
Here's a little look at both of his right here, and that's the whistle, and that's the pregame show. Coach Pollock is amazing. Like the way he
Yeah.
breaks down, I'm pretty sure he's got a future in commentary way down the road after he retires. I'll see him on Monday Night
Hey.
Football or something. So he's a great guy. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get into it, not waste any time. Bring on our mentor and our friend, Coach Pollock. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
Man, great. I'm doing great, Josh. And great, Dane. Man, I'm glad to be here with you guys. I've been looking forward to this. We've been kind of talking back and forth for a little while
Yeah.
about this. I've been looking forward to tonight to get to see, what we get to talk about and have fun with this.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
It's
Thank you
it's
for
an
your
honor.
time.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, Coach. It's a true honor. Like I said, I love watching what you do. I love the breakdown. I'm hooked on your show. I need you to go ahead and do like a million more episodes during the off season because that's my favorite content right now. You guys are a tag team tandem, man. So I love the way you do it. So
Lucky, I got some good people. Coach
Yep.
Hart's my partner in crime, and then Uncle Neely, he kind of puts the show on for us, and man, he takes care of us. And he, posted on his channel the pregame show, and then I put it on my channel, Coach
yeah.
Pollock CU, and
Mhm.
we've got a lot of good feedback, and it's been a lot of fun to do.
We were talking. I showed my daughters, Coach. You were talking about how much you're giving respect to Travis, but you're like, now Travis, I got to go ahead and say this because you wanted the spotlight. Now you're going to get it. It was just neat the way you broke down stars and how it's true, man. If you want the spotlight, you kind of got to take the good and the bad. So I
Yeah.
like your, we'll save some more of that for a little bit later, man. But coach, we've got some questions for you that Dane and I are going to dive into. So I'm going to take the lead on this one. Obviously, before kind of making this great comeback story, what you're doing with Colorado, obviously before your days even maybe coming up in the ranks, local football, maybe take me back to it, man, when you first got the itch to coach, maybe how old were you? When did you first start coaching in your life, you know?
Well, I tell you what, I was the walk-on at the University of Georgia football team. And after that time was done, at first I was an advertising major, and then I kind of realized that I was gonna miss football if I didn't stay in it. So, I made a decision in college, and I was very fortunate that my head coach from high school at the time was very instrumental in just helping me get my foot in the door and just giving me the options and the chance to come in and while I was still in school to volunteer my time. And then my very first job, I was just so fortunate. I went to Thomasville High School. George Bobo was our head coach. His son, Mike Bobo, is the offensive coordinator at Georgia right now. And, I was able to get my foot in the door in a really good program. And just keep going from there. And like I say, I was able to coach at several really high profile in Georgia, Thomasville, Valdosta High School, Cook High School, Washington County, Grayson High School. That was probably the one that really got me my opportunity I've got now with Coach Prime, because we were very fortunate in Grayson that we were nationally ranked, won the public school national championship one year, and I think we had 10 or 15 Under Armour All-Americans. So I kind of got invited to go down and coach in Orlando, and I was put on Coach Prime's team, and he just kind of took a liking to me. I don't know why. I kind of do know why, but that's just speculation on my part. I never asked him for anything. I never asked him, Coach, can you sign this for me? Can you do this?
Yeah.
He was down there to coach, and I was too. And so I treated him like a coach. He treated me like a coach. And then when I came back the next year, of course, he remembered me. We were back on the same team again. And, then he started, like anytime he was running a camp in Atlanta or in the Georgia area, he would call me up and ask me to come help run the camp with him, and I would do so. And, we had always kind of talked about one day he was going to get into college coaching, and that, asked me if I would be interested. And I said, of course. Funny thing is when he called me about the Jackson State job, Prime, when he wants to talk to you about business, he wants to FaceTime you. He doesn't want to talk on the phone. He wants to see your face. And he had FaceTime me, and I saw I'd missed the call, and then so I called him right back, and he told me, he said, "Hey man, we're going to, I've got a job. I want you to come with me, whatever." So I said, "Yeah, I'm in, Coach. Let's go." So then I hung the phone up, and my dad asked me, he said, "Hey, where y'all going?" I said, "I don't know."
Doesn't matter.
No, we're going
awesome.
somewhere. So I didn't care what I made. I didn't care what I coached. I didn't care. I just knew I was going to get to live my dream of coaching college football. It's kind of funny because I had 28 years coaching in the state of Georgia at that time, and you needed 30 years to retire. So I got to looking, and I happened to have enough sick days that I could retire with 30 years. So
okay,
nice,
great, man. It was awesome. I mean, it's like and of course, we were successful at Jackson State, won 2 SWAC championships, and now we're here at Colorado, and man, I couldn't be happier.
Well, Dane, before you take two,
wow.
I know, Coach, I know why, again, and I say this with all respect. We love Coach Prime, but I don't know of anybody that doesn't know that it's like that tandem when they talk about you and of course Coach Steeman and Coach Hart. You guys bring fun back. We're Sooners, lifelong Sooners, but we have learned we love all these teams now, and you guys make the sport what it's supposed to be, fun. There's a time when college football got too serious, and it's like, dude, we're not NFL yet. You guys are making
Yeah.
football fun again.
Yeah.
You're great offensive minds. You guys know what you're doing, but then on top of that, you make it fun again. So Dan, go ahead, man, before I get lost,
Well,
man.
I just want to know what is it that got you into coaching football? Did you play other sports when you came up, or coached any other sports when you were coming up? And what was it about football that you said, man, this is the thing I want to do?
Well, when I in high school, I played football and baseball, and I was actually on a performance gymnastics team in high school too. That's a funny story. Wow. We were there was probably 120 kids on that gymnastics team, and there was about 10 guys. So I did the math.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I took the class. So it was fun. A couple of my buddies were in there, so we had a good time with it. So I always like to throw that in there. But yeah, I knew early on that I wanted to coach football. Yeah, it was my favorite sport. I mean, I like the just the planning, the strategy. I can remember being in middle school drawing up playbooks.
Yeah.
So I think it was just always kind of in me. I came up around it, and I guess I was just born to do this.
Yes, sir. I agree. Yes, sir.
So now, with all those years of coaching under your belt at various stages, now you're at the peak. What are maybe one or two games that kind of stick out in the forefront of your mind? I mean, I know you guys have won the SWAC at Jackson State, and
right.
You've had a lot of success in your career. What are a couple of the games that really just stick out to you that you just can't help but smile that you were part of them?
Well, I tell you what, we were one game that will always stick out in my mind is my first game being a head football coach. I was at Cook County. We played a team out of Macon, Georgia. And we won the game. I think the score was like 58-28. Ooh. And they actually won their region that year. They were actually 9-1. We were their only team that beat them in the regular season. And wow. Funny thing is the next week, we were up like 39-0 or 39-6 at halftime or something like that. I mean, our kids just played their butts off. That's one of my favorite groups I've ever coached. Just some good kids. And the next week, the kids gave me a game ball at our pregame dinner with 58-28. And I was like, man, if I know I was going to get this, I wouldn't have put the subs in so quick, let them score so much.
Yes, sir.
That's terrible, man. But, that one means a lot to me. And then, of course, in Grayson in 2016, when we played Roswell in the championship in the Georgia Dome, we were actually the last high school football game to be played in the Georgia Dome before they tore it down and built Mercedes-Benz. And it's funny because Malik Willis, who's in the NFL now, was the quarterback for Roswell. And so we were down like 17-7 in the fourth quarter, and we come back and won in overtime with a field goal. Wow. So memorable game in the Georgia Dome for me. And then getting to Jackson State and my very first game coaching Edward Ward. We played at NIA school, Edward Waters, in the first game, and of course we were a lot better than they were, but still it was my first experience coaching college football. It was a great crowd, and then winning the SWAC championship 2 years in a row. Those were great moments. But I tell you what, one that's definitely top 5 of mine, probably top 3 to be honest with you, is our win against TCU this year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go down there to
Fort Worth.
Nobody gave us a chance. I think we were 21-point underdogs, and everybody was, doubting us. And for us to go down there and win that game against the, team that just got finished being the, national runner-up, that feeling. I mean, just the number of people that had reached out I mean, when I walked off that field and went to the locker room and picked my phone up, I mean, there was probably 200 messages already.
Wow.
Just people just, wishing us well, congratulating me, telling me they were proud of me. And what meant the most to me was most of the people that were guys that I coached with in Georgia in the high school level, or they were people that were from my hometown that, they watched me grow up, and they were just, they were just happy to be able to tell me congratulations. And that was a great day. That was just a great feeling.
It was I watched
Wow.
every snap of that game, man. Because like I said, when it was neat, like because I watched what you guys over the past 3 seasons, right, from 21, and obviously last year, challenging season, and then the rebuild this year. It was great. I watched every snap of that, and again, Big 12 stuff. Obviously, I was great. I was glad to see you like kind of that game against TCU. I was glad to see that, man. My our Oklahoma heartstrings are pulling for that one, man. So we're
There you
pulling
go.
for it, man. That's great. Influence wise too, because you can see that, like you said, like it's no question while you've got hundreds of people texting you, the influence that you leave on people when they're around you. And I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
I mean it. You're a very, very influential person. People like you. They like to talk to you.
Yeah.
You leave that, you cast that net and that shadow where people want to be near you. And
Yeah.
I think you make people better. That's what a coach does. I'm curious, man, and maybe one or two though, maybe Mount Rushmore. Obviously you've had a lot of influence on you too, maybe from high school days or college. What's a couple coaches that have left a mark on you in your career,
Yeah.
Well, my high school coach, I had two high school coaches. One of them, we changed coaches between my junior and senior year. And Coach Taylor was Tom Taylor was my high school coach until my junior year. And then Jack Johnson was my high school coach my senior year. And Coach Johnson really, to be honest with you, he was the most innovative coach I've ever been around. I mean, we were in the late 80s, and we were running mesh and bubble routes and shallow crosses and things that people didn't even, I mean, they didn't even know how to cover that stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
we had struggled a little bit my junior year, going 4-6, and heck, he got there, and we went 10-2, and my senior year, and he really influenced me. Also, our defensive coordinator off that team, Bill Lucky, what a great influence he was for me as well, and just motivate me to go into coaching. But now once I got into coaching, I would say that Rick Tomlin, who he's a well-known coach, got over 200 wins in the state of Georgia. He coached Robert Edwards and Takeo Spikes at Washington County, amongst them. Coach Randall Godfrey at Lowndes County that played for Dallas. He's really been a guy that I've always been able to count on. He hired me a couple times, and he's always on my resume as far as a reference. Another guy that is really means a lot to me. He brought me to Grayson High School, was Mickey Kahn. He is the co-defensive coordinator at Clemson now. I think he coaches the safeties. But he brought me to Grayson and gave me a chance to, like I say, there's so many times that you look back in your career and you think, man, I wanted this head coaching job, or I wanted this job. And man, God's always going to put you where you need to be. And he led me to Grayson High School. And I fully believe, listen, I love Grayson High School. There's nothing I wouldn't do at Grayson High School, because if I wouldn't have gone there, I wouldn't be where I'm at now.
Right.
I fully believe. But like I say, Coach Kahn did a great job of, influencing me. And then, of course, Jeff Herring came in the second year I was at Grayson, and that's when we won the state championship and the national championship. And Jeff, he's matter of fact, he's in the semifinals right now at Camden County, Georgia. And he's won 5 state championships at 3 or 4 different schools. And, there's not many people in the country that's done that in multiple schools like that. And so, Coach Herring means a lot to me. So, I would say those guys there that I mentioned, there's been a ton of other guys, that as far as head coaches, those are guys. And then, of course, Coach Prime, man, he gave me, he means the world to me. He's like a brother to me. And he, I have a ton of respect for him and the way he handles his business and the way he runs the program.
Yep.
It's before you take it forward, Dain. You said something too. I made a note because I always make notes when our guests are talking, coach. And I like what you said about kind of God put you in a spot, and I believe that there's a spot in coaching where coaches kind of have this father, this pastor, they have this hero thing. Coaches do a lot more than just taking care of business on the field. So
Yeah.
I look back, and Dane and I say this all the time. We look back at some of our Coach Jackson. I go back to fourth grade, even, man. I remember some of the
Yeah.
stuff he taught me, right? And then you talk about that too. There's
Yeah.
there's never enough. There's never enough stories that can be told about what a coach does for someone. So
Yeah.
from that level, coach, when I that's why I love you so much, because obviously when talking about college and you guys making it the pros, I love that you still have those fond memories of high school, what you've done
Yeah.
for these young men in high
Absolutely.
school. And that's my hat goes off to you that it's every level. All you care about is making people better. And I love that about you, coach.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Well,
that's all
I'm
about.
my years spent as a high school coach. I mean, those were some great years for me. There's nothing like Friday night walking on that field in a small town and, having the fans, the stands filled up and the community shut down and you're playing your county rival or whatever,
Yes, sir.
that's the greatest feeling.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Well, for question 4, I was kind of go a different direction because we were kind of been talking about influences and inspirations and things like that. Coming into this season, you guys had a task to get Colorado back to the top of the mountain. What is maybe 1 or 2 things that you like to go into a situation like this, or any situation where you're a new coach? What is maybe 1 or 2 philosophies that you like to instill in your players to kind of help them build as not only players but young men as well?
That's good.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you got to realize when you take over a situation that hasn't been successful, that the hardest thing to do is to teach kids how to win that haven't won.
Mm-hmm.
And to teach them what it takes, in the preparation, but also teach them, how to respond when you don't have things go your way. Because guys, I'm gonna tell you something. Kids that are not used to being successful, they will revert back to, that, I don't want to call it a losing mentality, but it really is. I mean, it's a mentality of not being successful, and that's a tough thing that you got to change in them. And then of course the second thing is I would say is just developing those relationships with those kids and developing that trust, because if they trust you and they care about you, they're going to play a lot harder for you. So that's a big deal that you've got to go into, because like I say, they got new coaches coming in, they got new players coming in, and they just got to get to know you, and you got to put your best foot forward with them and let them know what you're stuff like that.
It's definitely
Wow.
clear that you know what
Yeah.
you're doing, man. When you're coming in, and again, you know this, and Dane and I know this from our years of coaching. We did a lot more on, like the 12 and 14U level, but we know that it takes a village to raise a team, and that's something that I see you guys are. I just can't say enough, man. The turnaround that you've done, and the right people are in place, and I can't wait to see what you build off of next year. I have already said I predict. I'm predicting you guys are going to go 8-4 next year. I've already put this out. I'm looking at it. So that's what I said. I see it. That's what I think, man. So
we're for another 300 or 400% increase like we had this year.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
A great season, and I'm telling you, man, it was fun to watch. And I found myself, Dane and I were like, we'd be sitting there because we always compare notes. Like, you see that play, like we're different cities at that time. We're like, yeah, you see that play, I'm watching the game, man. So anyway, Coach, we're going to transition to a segment that we're known for. We're going to crack you up a little bit. We have some things that we do on this show. We have a couple of marquee segments, so we're actually going to hit you with a double type. We're going to hit you with something that's called Truth or Dane. And we're also going to hit you with rapid fire. We actually wanted to kind of give you a little double up tonight. It's about 10 questions, Coach. So the first 5, I'm going to explain this to you. Dane and I, this is kind of meant to make you laugh. We're going to bet on what we think you're going to say on all of these, on the first 5 and the second 5. But Dane and I are notorious for saying certain phrases, like you do, like Coach Prime does, like Coach Neely.
Right.
Everyone kind of has their catchphrases. So just off the bat, even in the little time we've been able to kind of get to know you, we want you to try to guess on which one of us you think says these phrases. We're going to flip the script. You got to tell us which one of us says this phrase on a regular basis. Okay? So you ready? So first one, in Truth or Dane, because the Truth or Dare was taken. So who's more likely to come up to you and say, psych?
Josh.
Who'd you have?
Josh.
Nope, that's Dain. That's a Dain.
Oh.
That's a Dain original. He'll do it on the field and walk up. He'll walk back past the players, and every game they get a psych. So
Yeah, I'm a product.
Dain-
I'm the
Dain
product
must-
of the 1980s.
Man, must be an 80s baby.
yeah, he is
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm a product of the 80s.
Praise.
So, who says this one? Before I fanboy out, who's more likely to say that phrase?
Oh, before I fanboy out, let's see. I'm gonna go with Josh again, man.
There we go. Yep, that's me. That is definitely me. I got you on that one. So, you're 1 for 1, Coach. Next one, I am giddy beyond words. Who's more likely to say that, Dain or me?
Josh.
Oh, dude, Dain. We're rocking him tonight. That's a Dain original, Coach, right there.
Oh, man.
So, yep. So I got another one for you. Who's more likely to say, as you're perfecting your craft? Would I say that or Dain say that?
Oh, as you're perfecting your craft.
Yeah,
And
these are catchphrases our fans have sent us that we say. We're like, we didn't even know we said this stuff, you know?
Yeah,
So.
Josh says that. I think Josh
No,
says
that's Dain. Dain, I am making Dain
Man.
look good tonight. So you're good, Coach. No, that's okay. That's the little thing we do called Truth or Dain. Now, Coach, we're going to transition to a little segment that we're known for. It's called Rapid Fire. So this is part 2. We're gonna really crack you up. So, Coach, these 5 questions. Let me preface this. Imagine that reality doesn't exist. Celebrities can come back to life that are passed away. Anything's possible for this segment. Now, this segment, there's no wrong answer. You go with which one you like better. There's no wrong answer. We're just kind of doing a Rorschach test, and me and Dana bet on what we think you're going to say for these questions. Okay. So here we go. They call you up, say, "Hey, Coach, next year you make it to the championship," and all of a sudden they say, "Look, there's no more footballs. Footballs have been deleted from the earth. There is no more footballs. So you have to play this game, and you have to call the game, make it happen, either using a hot potato as your ball or a cornhole beanbag as your ball for the entire game. Which one are you going to go with?"
cornhole beat bang.
Let's go. I had you for that one, Dave. Did you have that one, Dave?
Oh yeah, it's
Gotcha.
the hot game now. You can do so much. You launched us. Well, I've been playing the game. I've been so upset. I've thrown that thing 50 yards.
Let's go. And it's a first down with a beat. I love it. First down with the beanbag. Next question, Coach. Obviously, as we're going to say your career progresses, and we're going to say 20 years down the road when you get into commentating, right? You're going to be commentating well after you're done coaching, and 2 sponsors say, "Hey, we'd like to sponsor you, Monday Night Football or something like that." You're doing that. They say, "Hey, we'll give you a sign-on bonus. All you got to do is get our logo tattooed on your face, Post Malone style. Get that tattoo right there." You can go with Hot Cheetos tattoo right there, or you can go with the Kraft sliced cheese tattoo. Hot Cheetos, Kraft cheese. Which one are you going with?
Oh, hot Cheetos.
Let's go. I am crushing it. 2 for 2, Dan. How about you?
No, I had the cheese.
Okay.
I just kind of picked in the dark there.
So, Coach, we're taking you back to the 80s, back to one of your first teams, kind of just as you kind of getting your feet wet in the coaching thing, right? Kind of just early on in the day, late 80s, early 90s, and they say, "Hey, we're going to let you have one of these 2 celebrity singers be your quarterback for the season. You bring them, get them into shape, get them in all that. You can actually have Oates from Hall & Oates step on the field and be your quarterback for the season, or you can take Billy Idol as your starting quarterback for the season." Oates or Billy Idol, who are you going with?
Oh, we're going with Billy Idol, man. Come on.
I had you. I am 3 for 3 on this, Dane. How about you, man?
Oh yeah, Billy Idol. There's no other choice.
Did you
Even
just
if
see
there
him
was,
kind of running out? Yeah.
oh yeah, even if there were 50 just choices to make, Billy Idol.
It's still a choice. Exactly.
Let's go. 2 more on these. So they flip the script and they're going to say, "Hey, Super Bowl 2024, you're called up to kind of be like, I don't know, kind of a hype man. They want you as a part of the Super Bowl halftime show." And they say, "Hey, you can actually pick one of these 2 legendary singers from the past who we love both. They come back to life, and you can sing a duet with them. You can either do the halftime show, which we love them both, with Elvis or Jimi Hendrix. You can be a part of either one. Who are you going to go with?"
Listen, my mom would kill me if I didn't pick Elvis.
Let's go.
The king.
They're both great. We love them both, but it's like,
right.
you know what I'm saying? So, no wrong answer.
My uncle would like Jimi Hendrix, but my mom would want Elvis. So, hey.
Oh yeah, you gotta please mom. No matter
That's
what.
right.
Love it. So check this out. Last one, Coach. We do this. This one comes up a lot. So much like Space Jam and Mighty Ducks, things like that. You're going to be in a movie that comes out in 2025, very similar to the Space Jam thing. You're going to take a set of cartoon characters and you're going to take them to the Super Bowl, much like they do in the Space Jam format, but you're football. You're a coach and you're doing it in football. You can take the cast of The Simpsons or the cast of Futurama with you in your movie to coach them into making them a Super Bowl worthy. Which one are you going with?
We're going with The Simpsons, man.
5 for 5. Let's go. I crushed it. Dane, did you have that one?
No, I was going with Futurama on that.
Let's go. All right, man. So, Coach, thank you for that, man. It's just a little segment that we do every kind of episode called kind of rapid fire. Appreciate you being a good sport. Okay. Love it, man. Thank you. Dane, go ahead, man.
Yeah. On this last segment, Coach, we call it open mic. We have a lot of younger listeners out there that look up to you and all the athletes we bring on, to one day be either be coached by you or play like the athletes they admire. What we ask is to see if the guest would have any maybe words of wisdom for them, to help them on their journey, maybe a philosophy that you've carried or a mantra they can maybe carry with them to take them to the new heights that they hope to reach. Is there something you can kind of leave our younger listeners to help them on their journey?
Well, I tell you what, the biggest thing to be successful is consistent. You got to be consistent in what you do and what if you've got a goal, you got something you're trying to, the only way you're going to accomplish it is if you're consistent every day. And you just need to do something every day that works towards that goal, And I would say, that anything that you're doing that's not working toward that goal, you need to really evaluate. Do you need to be doing, and that's not to say that you shouldn't do some things that may not work toward that goal. You just got to, think, is this a time killer of mine that's just, taken away from things that I need to be doing to get better, things I need to be doing to work towards what I'm trying to accomplish with myself and my life. So, yeah, I would say just being consistent every day.
That's good, man. I think you said something, and it's kind of neat how some of the stuff that coaches say almost has kind of a biblical precedent too, where I think one of the apostles like kind of setting aside weights that get in your way. And if your goal is to play football, maybe you need to put aside Fortnite for a couple nights a week, like you're saying, right? Hey, maybe that's not the best use of your time to be playing Xbox when you got routes you should be practicing, things like that. So I love what you're saying, Coach. What do you think, Dain? That's philosophy.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great piece of advice. I talk to my daughter all the time about that. There's a big picture that you have to look at. That's the carrot. Okay, what steps are you taking to get there? There might be a bump over here you got to step over. There might be another bump you need to step on and jump to get to the next level. So there's always something, like you say, with consistency. Always think of it that way. There's a great message that every young player or even young musical artist needs to hear. Keep working at your craft and you'll reach it.
Right.
That's good, Coach. Yeah, Coach, I love how you're equally as wise as you are entertaining, man. You got this dichotomy going, man. So it is a privilege, Coach. We always know that and your life is extremely busy. It's an honor. Like I said, when we did this, we wanted to make time and do it right. So we appreciate you giving us this honor to meet you and have you on the show. Okay. So,
well, guys, I've enjoyed it, man. I'm glad I got to come on. Hey, I'd love to come back on and talk with you guys again. Maybe we could get me and Coach Hart on here because
he's. I actually, when you said that, Coach, I meant it. I meant to say we do want to make it the first of many. Definitely a recurring thing. Don't hesitate. I mean it when I say we actually also have a lot of guests that come on. I think it'd be great to have you and Coach Hart come back, and all of y'all to come back and help us guest host. We would love that if you'd be open to it.
Absolutely.
Great. Man, I love that. Well, Coach, it's an honor. We will make that a point. Once on, you're kind of an alum, so it'll be the first of many. We look forward to watching every game you do. We'll be shouting alongside from the stands and just watching you play all season. Okay, so
absolutely.
Well, hey man, we probably got the worst non-conference game opener for next year. Getting ready for North Dakota State. So I mean, it's one of those games where we're already thinking about it and what we got to do to be ready. So everybody tuned in and ready to see them Buffs get after it again.
Absolutely,
yes, definitely. We'll be watching and rooting for it, and I'll make it a point, Coach. We'll get this out to the world as soon as we can. But over the next month or two, let's have you and Coach back, and let's make it a recurring thing. Okay? So
that'd be great.
You guys, in closing, don't forget to check out Coach's show. Obviously, the pregame show. Obviously, the whistle's amazing. I'm telling you guys, if you need good good content that like actually makes you think, but it's also entertaining. We'll drop the links. Go check it out. This is the stuff that
Yep.
y'all need to be watching. It is one of my favorite shows. Like I said, I told Coach I binged the whole thing, and I just can't wait for some more content, man. So, all right, Coach, we'll catch up, man. We love you. Take care, and we'll have
Yep.
a Merry Christmas, and we'll be in touch very soon. Okay. So,
Absolutely.
Guys, Merry Christmas to y'all.
All right, Merry
yes,
Christmas.
sir.
Best of luck.
Take
Thank you.
care, Coach. Yes, sir.
Appreciate
So Dan, I'm telling you, man, I love that guy. He's so kind, so wise. There's a presence about him too, where it's just he don't meet a stranger, and he'll give you
Yeah.
good sound advice. What'd you think of him?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great to meet people that do things at a high level. They put things in a way that they're not only easy to understand, but as they're talking, they're painting a picture, and you can just follow right along with them. It's easy to talk to people like that. They have so much knowledge, and they know how to convey it to the person they're speaking to. So I love talking to people like that. And, no wonder he's been so successful. He's so engaging, and, I felt like I've known him for 10 years after
Yeah.
that conversation.
When he called me, it was so neat thing because you know how we've been very blessed when we say that to do the show.
Yeah.
I sent out the field where I said, "Hey, Coach, we would love to have you on. We're honored by what you're doing. We're lifelong Sooner fans. We're realizing there's a big world out there, and there's a lot of great coaches that we want to share these stories." He says, "Hey,
Yeah.
what's your number?" He called me back the next day, "Josh, what's up, buddy?" And he talked to me for like 20 minutes, like. You don't even know, and we built it sparked a friendship, and that's what he does,
Yeah.
So I think about people like him and like Coach Bredbender, Coach Kenny, right? These connections
Yeah.
that we've made with these men and ladies, Coach Lonnie. It doesn't matter what sport it is. Coaches, he's got the goods, and I just love this guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's no wonder people want to come play for somebody like that.
yeah,
And they're successful under him. So, he's got that it, like they say.
yeah, as a Sooner fan, I got no problem rooting for him though, man. Like I said, I love what he
Yeah.
does. I love what he stands for, and I keep coming back to. I love how much he said these young men, and he kept talking about his high school days, and that to
Yeah.
me means something to me because he's not talking about, and he's successful, and he could probably coach the NFL. He's talking about what matters because a lot of times you spend more of your developmental years in high school playing, and what they've done
Absolutely.
to help these young men just become NFL players, right? You can see the twinkle in his eye about what he's helped somebody else do. He's made his way. He's played at Georgia. He's been very successful. What he cares about is helping others. So
Yeah. Paying it forward. I mean, that's what our show. That's what we started out with this show. That was our philosophy in it. So to have him on and have him speak in that manner is great to hear. The world's a better place with him in it. So
wow.
Great
well,
job,
Coach
Brian.
Pollock, it's a true honor, man. We love you, man. We're so thankful we got to meet you and show the world to you. We'll make it the first of many. That'll end the week, guys. Which what a great way to end the week, and we'll start strong next week. I don't even have anything else to say. And just I'm very very thankful that we got to do this with Coach, and we'll be cheering you guys on. I can't wait to see you play next season. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And be sure to check out their shows and get all the knowledge soaked up from them that you can.
And be entertained heavily too. So it's like a Netflix special just waiting to drop. So on that note, you guys, we'll save some great stuff for next week. We've got some great stuff lined up for next week. And on this, don't forget as always that we love you. And Dain,
thank you for listening.